There are so many seasons in life that we have to go through as humans that each one presents its different challenges. And at 53, I am moving head on into one of those seasons. I've got a dozen or so years to retirement, lots of heavy pressure, financial concerns, health concerns. Do we have enough? Will it be enough? Can we do what we need to do? You know, there's a lot that starts weighing on you after 50. I've never had to process a serious health concern until now. I have a few minor issues here and there. Take very little in the way of medication. Some are not so lucky. But until the other day, wasn't terribly concerned. Is this a one-off event, or is this a shot over the bow of a precursor to something more serious? Not sure. How close did I come to death? Also not sure. Over the past few weeks and months, I've been concerned about a lot of things, health being one of them. I've already started taking steps, literally, to help improve my health. At work, I drive a lot, sometimes 6-8 hours a day. And when I get to different job sites, I've been making more of a concerted effort to get out, walk around, climb some stairs, go do some things. When I'm out, I eat out. I've been watching that a little bit. Not getting the fries, not getting the large drink, drinking tea or other things that I've brought with me, and just getting the chicken sandwich or something of that nature. Trying to do better. Several iterations of the Apple Watch ago, I believe the version 4, when it came out with a heart monitor in it. I think I went from 3 to 10, so I skipped the early versions. But it had a heart monitor in it. You could check your pulse, you could do some things. One of the features in there was an ECG, an echocardiogram, and I've never really used it, never thought it was anything I needed to be concerned about. Well, if you've ever had a slight flutter in your chest, heart skips a beat, that kind of thing, it's not new, right? It's something that happens randomly. I assume that a lot of people have felt that. I have over the years. The other night, after going to sleep, about 11 o'clock, I was awoken with that feeling in my chest. Now again, not something new, not something on a regular basis. I thought, well, let me sit up a second, make sure what's going on. Life will be fine. It did not go away. I got up, walked around the room, I sat down, checked my pulse. My pulse was weird. It was like it was skipping beats. The big pulses were missing every third or fourth beat. It was a little bit weak, and I thought, oh no. I immediately thought to grab my watch. Grabbed it off the nightstand, put it on, did the check, followed the instructions, placing my finger on the bezel, counts to about 30 seconds, then it gives you a result, and it popped up afib. And I thought, oh no, afib, heart going out of control, heart attack. I checked it a couple of more times just to be sure, and at that point I decided it was time to wake my wife up from a sound sleep. We needed to go to the ER and get it checked out. So I did. She got up very calmly. She's been in the medical industry or medical field for, I don't know, going on 20 years now. So she was very calm and collected, and we got together and got in the car and headed out. Now, AFib is atrial fibrillation. The upper and lower chambers of your heart quit cooperating. The upper chambers start to jiggle. They work out of sync with the lower chambers, and it's kind of sporadic and fast. I believe my heart rate was up over 130 at first measurement, but I couldn't tell. It wasn't beating out of my chest. It was just quivering. We arrived at the hospital shortly thereafter. We're not that far. Hooked up an EKG, and boom, there it was, AFib. There were no other signs or symptoms. I didn't have chest pain. I didn't have a lot of other things that would normally be associated with a heart attack or a stroke or something of that nature, but still heavily concerned at the time. I was admitted to the hospital. Of course, they hooked me up with everything under the sun, gave me an IV drip of a blood thinner, and off we went. The next morning, I met my new cardiologist, who I already knew. He had treated my parents throughout their lives. My wife had worked with him for, again, nearly 20 years. So it's not a new face, which that was good. To have a friendly face I knew in the room, explaining things to me. He explained that in a lot of cases, the heart just kicks back in. Things just go back to normal. Not a big deal. I was hopeful that was me. Because the alternative is probably the next day, they would have to schedule an appointment to go in and get an electrical cardioversion. And I thought, what's that? Well, electrical cardioversion, or electrical conversion, is where they actually go in and shock your heart back into the rhythm. They have to put you out. It's an anesthesia procedure. And that's scary. So I was bound and determined to get this thing going in the right direction again. So I laid there all day, all night, all day, into the next afternoon, and it was still just going. It was still just fluttering in my chest, and it's scary. It's very unnerving. I used my watch numerous times to check it, and sure enough, AFib was there every time I checked. I had a heart monitor on. They were checking everything, and every time the nurse would come into the room, sure enough, same thing, still going. Got up in the afternoon, and I went for a walk through the hallways with my wife. And we were talking and joking and having a good time. When I got back to the room, I went in to use the restroom. And when I went to come out, as I stood up from the sink, there was a sharp pain directly in the middle of my chest. And I thought, oh no. After being here and them taking care of me and all the things going on, I'm going to have a heart attack. Well, that sets off some red lights. I immediately had 20 plus people in my room and all the stuff ready to go. They were very concerned, including my kids, who happened to just show up. That had to have been scary for them. They checked me out. They did multiple scans, multiple things to me. The CT scans, multiple tests. Did a ultrasound of my heart, all the things. Found nothing, which was fantastic. It seemed like, that little pain wouldn't normally cause me a problem, and the pain wouldn't be an issue. That would be something that I would pass off as an old guy problem, a cartilage going crick, crack, back pain, something, right? I wouldn't even think about it, but in that setting, at this time, big deal. And late in the afternoon, towards evening, she needed to come home to take care of the kids and things at the house and whatnot. So she got up, she gave me a kiss and said goodbye. And as soon as she walked out the door, my heart kicked back into rhythm. and I could feel it. The doctors said I was lucky that I could feel it, because a lot of people don't. It just happens, and they don't know that it's happening. But I was lucky to have felt it. So as I said, my wife had just left. Heart kicks back into rhythm. I grab my watch. Check it out. Sinus rhythm, 78 beats per minute. I thought, oh good. Oh my gosh. It kicked back in. I waited a minute. I tried it again. I called the nurse. I said, check your machines. I said, I think it straightened itself out. Sure enough, it straightened itself out. I called my wife, who hadn't reached her car yet. And she came back up, and we determined that it must have been her kiss that fixed my heart rhythm. I'm sure it didn't hurt. I went through the night, everything good, heart rhythm in check, all looking good. The doctor came in the morning. My wife was there. Agreed that everything looked good. There was no real reason to hold me any longer. Sent me home with a prescription for a blood thinner for the next at least 30 days. I've got to do heart monitor. I've got to do a few things just to verify there's no other issues going on. So the real question: did my Apple Watch save me? It sure helped me figure it out quickly and get an early indication that I was in trouble. I know there's a dozen different watches, Garmin's, Samsung's, Apple Watches, Fitbits, whatever you have on your wrist. If you have a little bit newer generation, probably has a heart monitor on it, may have this capability. Use the apps, use the sleep apps, use the heart monitor apps and the different things in there, especially if you are in a risk group. I am. The closer all of a sudden I'm in a risk group. I went from 25 to, I'm an old guy. Use them. I'm a big fan. And with that, I'll leave some links below with some information as to what afib is and how it relates to your body, and what it could cause. It can cause blood clots to form, which will cause strokes or heart attacks, or on and on the list goes. It's not something to ignore. Some people do. Some people just think it's whatever. Afib in and of itself, from what they tell me, is something that can be controlled, but it could lead to other things. So getting yourself checked out is a great idea. I do have a few other minor health concerns, but as a whole, I'm a pretty healthy individual for a big guy. 6'8" and 330-ish pounds. Not small. And it takes a lot to get this big machine moving. And I've been lucky to not have a lot of serious health concerns. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. Hopefully it gets a few people motivated to get checked out, see what's going on in your life. With your health and things, and quite possibly this will turn into a series of things where we talk about just life and the challenges we're facing as we get older. I follow several YouTube channels that talk about this, and it's something we need to discuss, I think. As men in particular, but as just adults, need to sort some things out before they become a problem, or sort some things out before there are children's problems or our spouse's problems. It's always good to do that. Thanks.